ABC13 Eyewitness News at 9 starts now on the CW39.
Now on Eyewitness News at 9, new details in the case of a woman who says a couple kidnapped her, held her hostage for weeks, and forced her to have sex. Plus, the new measures just passed by Harris County that aims to tackle crime with new sidewalks. And civil rights activists react to news of a whistleblower's claims about controversial tactics being used to stop migrants at the border. But first, we want to take a look at the weather. The Houston Fire Department releasing new numbers today showing heat-related calls are up compared to last year. So far, we've already seen more than 250 calls as of yesterday. So we want to go ahead and hand things over to Chief Forecaster David Tillman for a look at those hot temperatures, David.
Yeah, we've got more of the same on the way. I think tomorrow will be just like today. We actually did finally make it to 100 degrees in Houston. And just like we thought yesterday, everywhere from Houston to the north and west would hit 100 or more. And that's exactly what happened. Bastrop actually made it to 105 degrees. We made it to 104 at College Station, 103 in Huntsville. At this hour, it's still pretty warm out there. Mid to upper 80s in the Houston area, 90 degrees right now in Conroe. It is still 92 in Brenham. Hour by hour forecast for tomorrow, 81 at 6 a.m., 92 at noon, upper 90s to around 100 in the middle part of the afternoon. And because those heat index values will be up around 108 at their peak, there's a heat advisory in effect. We've got more heat on the way for Thursday and Friday, then a change over the weekend to give us a chance for rain. I'll detail that coming up.
Looking forward to that change. Thank you, David. Updating breaking news from West Houston. We followed all afternoon. The fire department says a Motel 6 fire became unsafe, so they had to fight the fire from the outside. The fire is out and nobody was injured. The fire went 3 alarms and almost 100 firefighters were called out to the scene. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. A 2-week-old baby is in the NICU. Both of the child's parents are behind bars right now in Harris County, accused of holding an 18-year-old girl hostage for the last month, meaning that child was born while the alleged crime was happening. We first brought you this story yesterday. Today, the couple was in court. Micah Hatfield has the latest.
Today we learned from the Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's office that they found a chain with multiple locks on it during a search warrant on the house that the 18-year-old girl was allegedly held hostage in for a month.
Tuesday afternoon, Jacqueline Macias and Jose Reyes went before a judge separately. The married couple is charged in the same case, but ordered by law to stay away from one another. How this aggravated kidnapping they're charged with happened or why, we still don't know.
Anything that my client tells me is confidential, of course, but she is presumed innocent unless it's proven otherwise.
The couple is accused of holding an 18-year-old girl hostage for a month in a home on Foxmont Lane near the intersection of 1960 and Cypresswood. The Precinct 4 Constable's office says the woman ran to neighboring homes for help Sunday night while the couple was gone. She told deputy constables that she was tied up in a bedroom. They told us she had noticeable marks on her hands and legs. Macias and Reyes were arrested when they pulled up to the home.
It was not a stranger-on-stranger type relationship. The actual relationship, those two individuals knew one another very well.
Attorneys did not say how they knew one another and would not get into details of the case. Her bond is set at $50,000, his bond at $100,000. Macias and Reyes share a 2-week-old child that his attorney says is in the NICU. According to the attorney, family is with the child now, but again, if they post bond, they won't be able to see the child at the same time because of the bond condition that orders them to have no contact. In downtown, Micah Hatfield, ABC13 Eyewitness News.
Harris County commissioners have passed a vote that will put millions of dollars towards building sidewalks on one street in Cloverfield. All of this in an effort to reduce crime. ABC13's Brooke Taylor spoke to neighbors to see whether they think sidewalks and lighting are the answer.
This street is surrounded by ditches. There are no sidewalks. Neighbors say there is no doubt that it is dangerous to walk here, especially with so many children in the area, but they aren't sure that putting the sidewalks up is actually going to do anything when it comes to crime.
I've been since here 2008.
Johnny lives right off Barbara May Street in Cloverleaf, a street that stretches from I-10 to Wood Forest.
If you notice, there is no sidewalks here. And it does need sidewalks here.
Galena Park ISD has bus stops along the street, and neighbors say right now pickup and drop off is happening in the ditches.
The street, or they're waiting on the bus to get back home, or this bus pick them up and drop them off.
The problem has caught the eyes of county officials. A multi-million-dollar project passed hours ago in Commissioner's Court. The project will include sidewalks, ditch enclosure with storm sewer system, driveway replacements, and pedestrian-scale solar lights. But it comes at a costly price. $4 million will come from federal money, the American Rescue Plan Act, and $1.7 million will come from Precinct 2. County officials say the project is meant to reduce crime. And while neighbors say the improvements are much needed, they wonder if it's actually going to impact crime.
So they're spending millions of dollars to do this. Is there any other way you'd like to see that money spent?
Yes, there is one other way besides just sidewalks. I would like to see recreation for the kids. Lots of swimming pools and stuff to learn, you know.
Brooke Taylor, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Harris County Judge Linda Hidalgo and other Harris County officials will be at the White House tomorrow. They plan to meet with the Biden administration to discuss how federal recovery funds are being used. According to the Houston Chronicle, the county has received $915 million from the American Rescue Plan Act. Some of the money has already gone towards a series of initiatives aimed at tackling poverty. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has issued a gag order ahead of suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial this fall. And while Paxton works on his defense, he is still raising a lot of money. ABC 13 reporter Tom Abrams joins us now with details on both developments. Tom?
That gag order prevents anybody directly involved with Ken Paxton's impeachment trial from speaking publicly about it. Still, Paxton is using his voice to raise campaign funds, money he could also use for his legal defense. In a new filing, Ken Paxton reports fundraising of more than $1.7 million the last half of June, all of it donated after the Texas House impeached Paxton on 20 charges. That kind of fundraising speaks volumes.
One is he's been able to raise $1.7 million, which he can direct towards his legal defenses. And two, he has people backing him, like the Wilkes brothers from out in Cisco and Tim Dunn in Midland, who have lots of money.
As his trial approaches, beginning September 5th, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who will serve as the trial judge, has issued a gag order.
Given the political stakes that are involved, this is certainly a kind of trial where you don't want to have people litigating this in the press. You want to have the evidence presented in a fair and honest way. You want to have it adjudicated by the senators.
Well, I'm calling this, Tom, the summer of impeachment.
Joe Jaworski, an attorney and former mayor of Galveston, who also ran for attorney general last year, has concerns about the politics of the trial, but agrees the gag order was the right thing to do.
I think it was appropriate, and it certainly is within the presiding judge discretion, in this case, Dan Patrick, the president of the Senate. I think it was probably a good idea for him to do that so that the lawyers know who's in charge.
The trial will be a spectacle with 31 senators acting as jurors. 12 of them are Democrats, 19 are Republican.
Rather than having, a neutral group of 12 citizens who have no interest in the case, you have the senators of Texas who have a very strong political interest in this case. Indeed, one of the jurors is Paxton's wife. She can't vote, but she still will be present during the proceedings, which will be kind of awkward.
Awkward and unprecedented. In Houston, Tom Abrams, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
From mold to mice and security gates left open, we hear from a lot of you about problems that you're having where you're renting. In this week's Renters' Rights, we're taking a look at what the city, specifically HPD, is doing to try to address some of those issues. Here's ABC 13's Courtney Carpenter.
You may not know HPD has an apartment enforcement unit. They spend a lot of time at places like this that need to be better. They can talk to management, write citations, but still, unfortunately for the folks that live here, it can take a while for them to see change.
Slowly but surely, we've addressed a lot of issues here, and it's gotten better.
Day in and day out, Sergeant James Rock and 6 other officers who make up the HPD Apartment Enforcement Unit spend time in our city's worst complexes, and their focus is wider than just crime.
We noticed that the sewage is backing up. So in these cases, when we see these sorts of things, we get with our health department and habitability division and have them come out and address these issues.
Since last fall, the unit has spent time working with management at the La Serena Apartments in Spring Branch. Rock says some improvements have been made, cameras and more lighting have been added to the parking lot, but as we've heard from residents,
it's just kind of a slum, I guess you would say.
Problems persist, including major sewage issues. Those citations have been issued, and though they've had conversations with management, the owners so far have not agreed to meet with them.
It's very frustrating when we feel as if the owners are avoiding us or not making an effort to come and just sit down with us and have a conversation on how we can make things better.
So for complexes like La Serena and others, ones you would consider bad actors, what could speed up the process to make these healthy and safe places for people to live? Sergeant Rock says more teeth in city ordinances would help.
They would have to go back to city council and address the ordinance, and I think hold a lot of these owners feet to the fire a little more than what we are.
Unfortunately for tenants, when problems are widespread, there's not always a quick fix. In the meantime, if you're dealing with ongoing issues at your apartment, reporting the problems through 311 is the best way to get the attention of the city. In Houston, Courtney Carpenter, ABC13, Eyewitness News.
Former President Trump facing another legal battle. What we're learning about the new indictment he could be facing. We have the latest from Washington just ahead. Plus, trying to figure out how the NIL will work under new rules. Greg Bailey breaks down the brand new NIL changes and their impact on Texas colleges and universities.